So oftentimes on the Open House television show, we tell you about elements that make a home special. Vaulted ceilings, huge floor-to-ceiling windows, rounded corners. Well, today we're going to talk about components, structural components that are very important to a home. And joining me is Rick Parrino of Plum Building Systems. And Rick, tell us why Plum Building Systems does what they do.
Well, what we try to do is build the components from the bottom up. And what a lot of people don't realize is the inside, or what you don't see, is the most important part. The features that you just mentioned are good to look at, and everybody sees that part, but what you don't see is what holds the structure up and why it becomes important. So when we try and design our components, we design them starting with the foundation and up, and we build everything into them. Most of our components are just roof trusses, but as time goes on here, we're building more and more wall panels and floor decks and more of the whole package, because the builders are, I guess, becoming more aware of what needs to be done and proper ways of doing things, and it's hard to get a consistent product out in the field. So that's a kind of just as a start where
well,
we go.
And you just said proper way of doing things, and it's important for viewers to know that you can request that your builder uses Plum Building Systems if you want to after watching this. And so what would you say is a proper way to put these components together?
Well, the interesting part is as what's going on behind us is we're actually building a completely panelized house where the wall panels are built and the floor decks are built in a shop, and then we bring them out on site. And the nice thing about that is we don't have to put up with the weather, exposure to weather. When we're building our decks, we're gluing down all of our joists in a controlled environment. We don't have rain or snow or any of that type of stuff, so it tends to help prevent squeaks in floors. And when we're trying to put all this together in our plant, we have the luxury of having a computerized system that shows us where everything is at and can stack everything in our computer system. So when we stack it up, we can make sure that all the right parts land in the right spots. And people don't always have that luxury when you're stick framing a house compared to when you're doing it in a computerized setting.
Well, weather delays not only delay the home, the timing of building a home, but also the components.
Yep.
Could wreck the wood, is that right?
Yeah, well, it definitely has an effect on the wood. So what some of the companies are actually making different woods that they're waterproofing them to help them do that, but then you have to pay more for that. So the easier solution is to get them enclosed faster, which components do. I mean, generally a component house is built in a quarter of the time that a normal house would be built in, and that takes out that weather factor and the damage that weather can do to your structure.
So Rick, what is your suggestion? Should people come straight to you for a floor plan and building components, or should they go to their builder?
Well, yeah, I would recommend they go to their builder first, because a lot of builders have special ways that they build, and they would want some input as far as the plan drawing service. But they don't have to. I mean, a lot of people do come to us first, and we'll draw a plan for them, and then they could take it to different builders to have them bid it. But the relationship between a homeowner and a builder is pretty important, so I strongly suggest that they meet the builder, do their checks on the builder, pick out the builder, and then come together, and then we'll draw the home plan for them that way. That way you just kind of assures that we're all on the same page and there's no changes later on.
Rick, let's talk about the timing of a home being built when the major components are through Plum Building Systems.
Well, generally what you do is we prefabricate the building in our factory, and then we package it and get it ready for shipping. So when we get it out to the job site, so much of the work is already done, and they're standing panels up and putting stuff together instead of actually doing the framing and nailing each piece together and stapling each piece of sheeting on. That when it comes out to the job site, generally we could put a house up in a quarter or maybe a third of the normal time.
Well, let's just take a look at what's going on behind us. Tell us where they're at with this home.
Well, right now they're setting wall panels. They broke the bands and they're going to set them out. They actually have a layout that tells them where each panel goes around the house.
And with Plum Building Systems, you build relationships.
Yeah. That's why we do home plans, is we like to get in on a relationship at the beginning instead of at the end. We really focus on eliminating the problems beforehand instead of running into them during the middle of the project. Okay. We sell our home plan services to the customers, but our real relationship is with lumber yards and the builders. And we sell all of our components through lumber yards, all the major lumber yards in town.
Okay, well, Rick Parrino, this has been great information. Quick phone number for anybody who wants to call.
515-327-0698.
Okay, remember to tell your builder, Plum Building Systems. Thanks a lot, Rick.
Thank you.